Very good. Very juicy. Hi guys, so it has been a while since I've last done a video. I've recorded lots of things, but nothing that I feel like really comes together in the form of a video. Just been very busy working and that sort of thing. But I just wanted to kind of give you a brief little tour of the garden slash yard area. This year I'm not really doing a proper vegetable garden. I just kind of wanted to build up the beds this year. But next year I do plan on doing a vegetable garden. But there is plenty to be shown that I am working on in the yard this year. It's all a work in progress. Let me show you the peach tree. It is actually like doubled in size, I think, just in the past, say, like couple months, I think. And it's of course covered in peaches. More peaches than I could possibly eat by myself. I have a feeling most are going to be going to the birds. And it's kind of grown into and above the porch, which it wasn't anywhere near there by last February, so but kind of waiting on these peaches. Oh, actually this one is probably ripe. Oops. It's hard to do with one hand. There. Very good. Very good. Very ripe. So yeah, it's time to harvest peaches. Clearly. This should be interesting. I don't think I'll be able to do it by myself, and Mitch is not here. So he will be home later on tonight when it's dark and he can't see what you're doing. It's very juicy. I might have to set this aside. We do have the ladder out. Cleaned the porch up a little bit so we can get to things, but now there's a big ladder in the way, so it really didn't do much good now, did it? But anyway, huge. Definitely going to need to be very much pruned this year. I mean, it's huge. It is huge. I'm pretty sure double the size that it was in February, and it was already getting pretty big. The big project of the year has been the pond. I kind of expanded it. It's still also a work in progress. I put the tarp down. I hurried up and put the tarp in to try to catch some water with the rain, which was very successful. I didn't have to fill it with tap water at all. It's all rainwater. And it's only going to fill up to this area here. The space in between here and the wall is going to be grass in the end, but I'm gonna have to add the soil and vegetation and all that first. And then the rocks that are here are gonna actually get moved into the trench line that goes along the side of the house, because I don't know if you can see. Let's see, maybe. So I have a condensation line. Oh, I need to do more weed eating. I have a condensation line there. That's the second condensation line that's also going to feed the pond. The old part of the pond is fed by the old other condensation line. But I'm going to be putting in the stones in this little trench area here to partly weigh it down and everything. And then it'll feed down into here and down into the pond. When I'm done, this area, you're just going to have to see my peach. This area here is going to be the edge of the pond. Everything else is going to be either rock in the trench or vegetation. And I wanted this to say grass because I want to still be able to access the water hose. And this part in the front that's not part of the pond will also get built up as grass. But I haven't gotten that far yet. I already have wildlife in the pond. In fact, the wildlife is actually just overflowing over here. Mostly the fish and tadpoles. That we have bullfrogs that hang out at this pond, and so there are tadpoles everywhere. I don't know if I'll be able to show you any of them. I can't really see in the viewfinder. Some of them overflowed into the new part of the pond before, and those are a lot bigger. Those tadpoles are already half frog. Most of the mosquito fish are still in here. I've scooped some out into the new area just to try to, because they do eat the larvae, and trying to keep the mosquitoes down. Because it's important, the whole point of the pond is to catch condensation water that would normally be just a mosquito bed and create a space that mosquito fish eat the larvae and keep them from becoming mosquitoes. So that's the idea, plus it's a nice water feature. But right now, it's just kind of half done. And it's going to remain half done, at least for this week. So I've got way too many projects this week, including flying to Florida for my nephew's wedding. I'll show you some other trees. This is the plum tree. It's getting bigger. Bought it from Arbor Day 2 years ago, I guess now. Year and a half, I think. And I've been meaning to get, this is the Burbank Plum, which I do have a video for that. I will link it somewhere up here. I still need to get the corresponding plum that it can fruit with, but I have not gotten that yet. So once this thing starts putting out, it'll actually be a little longer before it ever makes fruit, because I won't have the tree that can fertilize it. But oh well. This is also from Arbor Day. It is another peach tree, so it's planted next to that peach tree. I greatly underestimated the amount of peaches one peach tree can make, so I've only just really shot myself in the foot with that, but that's okay. Mostly the trees are both fruit trees and for shade for the house, so. Over here is the apricot. This is the newest of my apricot trees. Also a year and a half old. Bought it with the plum tree over there. And this is its big brother that I bought a year or two before. Actually, I think it was only a year. No, I think it was 2 years, because there's no way this would be that much bigger. This is growing to be quite big. Has yet to flower. Perhaps next year it'll flower. Not sure. But I keep pruning on it to try to get it to go straight up. And then over here are my apple trees. Do I have? No, I do not. So, I don't have any of those videos up. These are the apple trees. One is, I can't remember which one, but one is a Lodi, and the other is, I don't remember. But if I can find it, I will put it up on the screen. And then I also got, the next year I got new apple trees, one here and one here, but I'm thinking this one must have died. I think this is a little too, it doesn't seem like it now, but I think this spends too much time in direct sunlight, which part of why I've planted these apple trees in the shadier areas, because apples in central Texas tend to be a little, it tends to get a little too hot even for these apples, so I wanted to kind of give them a little bit of relief from the intense sunlight. So that seems to be working for these because they're farther under the shade. This one sticks out the most, it spends the most time in the sun, and I think that was a problem. Next up, if you've seen my raised tire bed, these are those raised beds, and they've kind of sunken in a little bit, but otherwise they worked out pretty well. I had my tomatoes and peppers in there last year, and they turned out pretty well. I'll probably adjust them a little bit, but I had a whole bunch more tires, so I've set them up in all these little individual beds. And with the exception of this row here, I've tried to keep a little space in between each bed just to give each one room to expand out, because I found that was kind of a problem with this one. Plus I want to be able to get the mower and the weed eater in between them to keep the grass down. But right now I'm still filling them with grass clippings and food scraps and that sort of thing. And then probably towards September I'll go to the store and get soil to top them off. And hopefully by next spring I'll be able to plant in them. I'm also not sure if I really want this many beds. I might actually take the composting stuff out of half of them, fill up the other half of them, and then get rid of the rest of the tires, because it's still a lot of tires. I got this with a gift card from my dad from Amazon, and been wanting to get one of these for a while. Clearly you can see that I use it regularly by the human height grass growing in it, but like I say, I'm not gardening this year, but the main purpose of this is going to be seed starting, storage of gardening materials, and as you can see I've got racks in there for seed starts. And then eventually I want to start growing hay, or not hay, growing little trays of grass for my guinea pig, but I haven't done that yet. And it has these little rain gutter things that I have going into these buckets. And the point of that is to catch rainwater to put into the pond, but I don't think I need nearly that much. Now this one needs to be dumped, and it's, what is that? Is that moss? I know it's a mosquito bin. I probably need to dump this. I might do that in a minute. It's very heavy to do with one hand, so. This was actually had compost in it, and then I stuck it out here. I haven't been out here nearly as much as I need to be. I'm sure the neighbors appreciate it. I guess the last thing I will show you is my little mini herb garden here. So I've got my rosemary, got some thyme, and that's a lemon balm up there. And I put this little inverted tomato cage on there to kind of wrangle the lemon balm, and it's come back pretty good this year. Actually, all of this has come back pretty good. And there's some peaches on the ground. So that's basically the backyard. I might do the front yard as well, but I'll do that in a separate video, just because this is probably going to run a little long. Like I say, there's a lot of projects left to do. I have so many projects, not just gardening related. There are projects I want to do with the channel that I haven't been able to get to. There are just a lot of things, and I would really like to be able to devote more time to them, but unfortunately my schedule as it is requires me to go to work a lot, so a lot of the projects just get set aside and I just get to them as I can get to them. If you like this episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more episodes, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, and be sure to check out my website, randomconsiderations.com. And I think that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.